Welcome to the latest episode of 5 on the Floor on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Thanks for joining us in your favorite podcast app. On Apple, recommend Apple Podcasts or Spotify. On Android, we are asking you to use Spotify. Stream us there because we're putting the episodes up there before they get to the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. If you want content from around the sports spectrum in South Florida, including the 3 yards per carry daily reports from Dolphins camp, subscribe to the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. Also, subscribe to Off the Floor. That's our Discord server, $2.99 per month. We're in a competition with the 3 yards per carry guys. OnlyFins has 3 times, maybe it's the name. OnlyFins has 3 times as many subscribers as us. I don't know. What are Heat fans doing? Make sure you sub. Use the link here in the description. You'll bypass the Apple upcharge. Pay the $2.99 a month. Cancel at any time. Once you're there, you're not leaving. We don't see anybody leave. So check it out. It's Off the Floor. Also, Prize Picks. Use the code 5, F-I-V-E. We know the summer doldrums. Get through them by using some of their free squares. Play baseball. Play WNBA. Make a little cash. PrizePicks.com. Use the code F-I-V-E. And now, today's episode.
Mercy. Luxurious. Heat Nation. Yeah. Mercy and Lago. Down to Biscayne. Yikes. 5 on the floor. Ride for my dogs. Where here's the thing. You can check the score. Hustle hard, couple scars. Wearing bubble frogs. Down to Biscayne. Kept the flow playing. Got it all band. Y'all seen the block. Stop with one hand. And Pat we trust, it's power, have the guts. We're here to bring the heat, y'all can hang it up.
Welcome to 5 on the Floor, a daily insider show on the Miami Heat and the NBA, featuring Ethan Skolnick, Greg Sylvander, Alex Toledo, Brady Hawk, and others from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Also, make sure to subscribe to Off the Floor for the most heat anywhere.
All right, welcome back to 5 on the Floor. I've been bringing on different hosts, obviously our core, Greg, Brady, and Alex, and also others from the 5 Reasons Sports Network, even some of those from Twitter, some from NBA Media. And I can tell you that I picked this episode, well, actually Alex suggested it, but I decided to go with it because this is the most tough question episode of all the episodes that we're doing. So let's get it out of the way. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick on 5 Reasons Sports. We got Alex Toledo. You can follow him at Tropical Blanket. Alex, this is a tough question, right? What I'm going to be asking here?
Some of it will be tough. Some of it will be tough.
No. This is tough. This is legitimate. Some of the things you've said are tough or not tough. This is tough. What we're going to do is we got 15 teams in the Eastern Conference. We could milk this for 15 different episodes, but we're not going to do that. 15 teams in the Eastern Conference. We're going to divide them into 5 tiers, okay? 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, so 5 threes, okay? Divided by 15, 15 divided by 5 is 3. Okay, thanks to the Pinecrest for the
Can confirm.
Yeah, so here's what we're going to do, okay? We're going to divide them, and you and I are going to argue about them a little bit, but then we're going to settle on 3, okay? So even if we have a disagreement, we have to do it, move on to the next 3. Teams that we put in the first tier are eliminated from the second tier, and so on. All right, the first tier in the Eastern Conference. Here's first all the teams for those of you who remember, because a lot of these don't remember because a lot of these teams are not memorable. This is the worst, in my view, the Eastern Conference has been in forever, and the Eastern Conference has been worse than the Western Conference for about 30 years, all right? Literally, look it up, okay? If you look at overall record, head-to-head, what the 8th seed, first seed, all the rest, the West has been better than the East. The cycle has not swung back. Here are the teams. I'm not putting them in any particular order. We don't care about divisions, okay? Cavs, Knicks, Magic, Pistons, Hawks, Pacers, Heat, Celtics, Hornets, Wizards, Raptors, Nets. There's a lot of garbage in here. Bulls, Bucks, and I say this one for last for you, the 76ers. Okay. The first tier. Can we agree that the Knicks are in the first tier?
Yep.
Reluctantly. Can we agree? Is that a tough question?
No, it's not a tough question. So that's why I said some of this will be tough, because I've actually got my first tier. Like, I'm pretty confident about the first and last tiers, like the best and the worst ones. Those are the ones where I'm like, okay, I'm comfy. The middle portion, it's going to be tough. I'm going to be stalling for time for sure. But the beginning.
Is there
portion
anything
here,
that would push the Knicks out
right
of the first tier? Is there anything that nothing, right? Like, I mean, they made it as far as they did last year. Probably, I mean, they kind of squandered it.
no injury for this whole exercise, right? Like assuming nothing.
Yeah. Yes. No major injuries. No major injuries.
Exactly.
Where they are from a town. I mean, I guess there's a coaching change, but I don't think that Tom Thibodeau to Mike Brown is a big step down. So
And they're deeper now. Like, they added some more playable guys to the rotation. So no, I don't really see the case for them just basketball wise to fall out, especially in this East here. I think that's a pretty good bet, is them being a top 3 seed. I would be shocked if they weren't, to be honest.
Doesn't mean the team's going to get to the finals. It just means we have them as one of the 3 most talented teams in the East.
Well, I guess the case would be like one of like the 3 and the 4. You know, like if you consider them like the first or second best team in the East, right? Like, but I don't want to get ahead of myself there. I'll let you.
Don't do that, because I know we're going to be spending 45 minutes on the middle 3 tiers. All right,
exactly.
Knicks, Cavs, right? The Cavs are in the top 3 tier. You win 60 plus games. You don't really lose anybody. Even if you flamed out in the playoffs, you're still in the first tier, right?
Yep. I've still got the Cavs there. I'm expecting maybe not another 64-win season, because those are really hard to do like back-to-back. Even if you think maybe they're better or they're worse, however you feel about them, they're still going to be probably a top 2 seed.
Okay. Magic.
And that's my third one right there. I think you can make a case for Detroit with getting Jaden back. I do think Duncan and Karis LeVert are going to be really nice additions for them. And I think it really comes down to Jaden Ivey and like how ready he looks when he comes back. Like, does he come back to looking like that same guy he was pre-injury? Does it take a while? I think that's kind of like the swing factor. And I think because of that, like I think Orlando is a safer bet, because they're going to have a great defense. They had a lot of injuries last year to their best guys. Not only is Bane a great shooter and they needed the shooting, Bane can also like handle the ball when they do go through injuries again. Like, they're just so built to go through a regular season and come out on top, especially when you subtract Indiana and Boston from the top there. Like, I just think like I feel very good about those 3 right there as the first tier.
Yeah, I'm with you. I look, one weird thing about the Magic last year was that they actually had a better record for a stretch without the 2 players who are classified as their 2 best players, Paolo and Franz, but they actually fell apart when Suggs went out. He's expected to be back. You've added Bane, obviously. You've given up the picks. Their coach has been there for a while. Feels like that's a team ready to take the next step. I'm not confident about them in the playoffs yet until they go through it, but I think they're first tier. All right. It sounds like you're putting, so let's get to the second tier. So these are, we think, contenders to get the 1 seed in the East, basically. Knicks, Cavs, Magic should be up there competing all year. All right. Sounds to me like you have the Pistons in the second tier. Is that fair, since you were considering them for the first tier?
Yep. I think they really do look like the type of team that once you, again, we're subtracting Indiana and Boston from that top tier. So teams are just naturally moving up. And everything that I already mentioned about them before, like, it just feels like they're a team that's ready to take a step up. Right. And similar to Orlando, but I think Orlando, with the addition of Bane and just better injury luck, it's gonna have them up there. Whereas Detroit, like, I think the Ivy thing is kind of, there's no guaranteed like, oh, he's gonna be awesome right away. Maybe it takes him, maybe he has like an up and down season that just goes throughout the season. Like, these things are possible. Like, this is a guy who had an up and down career before he was breaking out last year. It's not like he had been doing this for a long time. So like, nothing is guaranteed here. But I do think like they have enough with what they added in Duncan and LeVert. Like, I think those guys are going to be awesome fits for what they need to, supplement Cade. And they've just got such a nice, core of guys that I think work well together.
Mm-hmm. Well, and no Beasley, right? No Tim Hardaway Jr., but I think the Beasley thing, obviously, I'm talking about Malik Beasley, no Fontecchio. The Malik Beasley thing was sort of, I guess, hanging over him, I would assume, last year. Tim Hardaway Jr. is good but streaky. Duncan, I think, is a better fit there. I'm with you. And LeVert gives them a little bit more of kind of a volume scorer in short bursts that he's been over the course of his career. So I agree with you on that. I have Pistons in the second tier. I think this is where it gets
kind of like Ivy insurance also.
Yes,
I think if Ivy isn't working out and Duncan gives them another lever of offense. Like, I think people are going to be surprised by how much those 2 guys help.
Okay, so let's get to the next one in this tier, and I think this is where it gets really complicated. Okay. The Celtics, I agree with you, have dropped out. I don't think they're worth discussing here in the second tier. It doesn't seem like their push is to go forward. I think they'll be better than people expect. We'll probably talk about them a little later, because I think they do have some motivation to try to remain competitive, and I do think that as long as Jalen is healthy, I think they'll be okay. The Pacers are a weird one to evaluate because you have no Miles Turner nor Halliburton, but bigger roles for Mathurin, Nembhard. Siakam is still there. I can make a case for them here. I could make a case for the Hawks. Do you make a case for the Hawks? Have they finally moved out of where they were? Jalen Johnson coming back from injury. You still have Trey. Reece Shea got experience in the last season. Okongwu looks like he's fit in just fine for what Capella used to do. And they have Dyson Daniels, who's one of the elite defenders in the league. The coach has been there for a while. I'm not a huge fan of Quinn Snyder, but I think they can be reasonably competitive in the regular season. Would you have the Hawks clearly in your second tier?
This is the first really tough question because this is where I really start to stall for time here, because I think like the 6 teams here or so in this kind of range that we're talking about, it's going to be really hard to separate. Like it also like depends like what we're talking about here with Boston and Indiana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like how much of these teams, like is their goal this season to win as many games as possible? Or like do one of these teams, both of these teams, neither of these teams have a sneaky agenda of trying to get a good pick in a year with bad injury luck? So like those are the two like big swing factors here, because my gut instinct is to have them in the next tier. But then I look at it, it's like, okay, even without Halliburton and Turner, they're going to have Jay Huff starting, which I get. Like Jay Huff's never been a starter in the league, but I'm sure like he'll be like, he'll be okay. He'll be, he's a decent player. And, the Grizzlies had a logjam there in the front court. I think he makes sense there. I think McConnell, you can easily imagine him taking more reps, Nembhard taking more reps. Obviously, like Siakam becomes like their first scoring option, but it's a team that in general is already very much like team oriented, right? Like I could see them being kind of sneaky decent, right? Like not as obviously not as good, but like they're not bad. Like I don't think they're gonna be bad. Like I think they're gonna be okay, right? Then you look at, we didn't even mention Milwaukee. Like I know,
well,
like
that's where I want to go with this. Okay, so if you're looking at the play, and we haven't mentioned, by the way, the Heat.
I didn't even answer your question about Atlanta, but like, this is the year for them to get out. It's
right,
just
so if we're going to put Atlanta in that tier, I'll agree with you on that. But then we have the tough decision here to make on the second tier, and I almost feel
I'm
like
not 100% that Atlanta's in that tier. That's kind of where I'm struggling.
It's a little bit fool's gold, I think, with the Hawks, because every time we think they're taking a step, they're not. But I do think that the pieces are there, provided Jalen Johnson is healthy. Here's the issue with some of these teams in the tier. The best players that are left in the East, okay? Giannis, Maxey. You look at the Raptors are an interesting conversation. Jaylen Brown and Siakam. Okay, and Bam. Okay, Bam and Tyler together, right?
No Embiid, huh? No Embiid mentioned.
Well, I don't know about health, but that's the thing. If the Sixers are healthy, I know you don't want to do this. If the Sixers are healthy, now Paul George isn't going to be healthy. We know that. But like, if you have Maxey, you have Embiid, you have McCain coming back from injury, right? They just drafted Edgecombe, their down year allowed them to get a top 5 pick, right? Grimes, okay.
Well, if they bring him back, but I don't know where else he's going to end up. There's absolute talent there. And the coach, I know that he's had issues. He's had success before. Like what? So like that's the conversation here. If we're going to say the Hawks, I'm okay with the Pistons as a definite. If we're going to say the Hawks, I'm going to eliminate the Celtics here because I don't know that the motivation is to necessarily get into the top 6. The Pacers, I would consider. The Bucks have the best player, but that roster sucks. I mean, take Giannis off that roster. Like Miles Turner doesn't rebound. I know he's going to provide some spacing there, but we saw it in the finals. He doesn't rebound. Their guard, I don't like their guard play at all. Obviously, Dame's not there anymore. They're young players. Doc won't play them, even if he has them. I'm not a huge fan of Doc as a coach, but Giannis is the best player in the East, right? I mean, we're in agreement on that. He just gets you to a certain baseline of wins where it's like,
right,
obviously not the same level, but he's the modern day LeBron in that way. Where like maybe you don't love this roster like the 2018 Cavs, but LeBron is going to get you to a certain level of win. And I think like Giannis doesn't even have that level of help. Like I think this is like what he has is worse than 2018 Cavs. But even then, it's like, what is there? Like, I could easily see them winning, like, I don't know, like 42, 43 games.
Mm-hmm. Just on his back. That's it.
Yeah. So that's why, like,
we're also not accounting, Alex. Alex, we're also not accounting for possible trades at the deadline, which teams could make adjustments based on where they are. All right, we got to make a tough decision though, because we're only through 2 tiers and we're for 15 minutes, and I knew this was going to happen once we got to the middle. We're agreeing on the Pistons. Are we reluctantly agreeing on the Hawks?
I like the Hawks. I just don't feel like it. I don't think it's a guarantee, but I like it. I like it as like, okay. I like the Hawks to take the step this year with Jalen Johnson coming back. I like the Nickeil Alexander-Walker pickup. Even the like the Porzingis stuff with the injury concerns. Like, they have other bigs who can play if he's out. Like you mentioned, Okongwu. Like they still have Larry Nance there, right? Or did he get moved?
Yes. No, I think he's.
So there you go. Like they have front court depth, even if the Porzingis thing is a problem. Like, those guys are playable or better. And
Daniels protects straight. All right. So the Hawks, we're doing it. We need one team. I'm letting you roll through. I'm going to roll through these teams. You just got to pick one. Okay. Ready? Heat, Pacers, Bucks, Sixers.
And we're taking Boston out as well.
I'm taking Boston out.
Okay.
So I'll let you choose between those 4. Heat, Pacers, Bucks, Sixers. Longest pause in podcast history.
I'm not even frozen this time.
Do you want to narrow it?
I don't. I'm really having a tough time picking from those 4, man. Like, I'm thinking about, like, I'm trying to do like my best simulation of like their win totals for each one of these teams, right? Thinking about their lineup, their unit. They're all around like 42, 43 wins. That's kind of where I have
37 to 42, I think, all of them.
Do you have a lean here? I'm trying. I'm like,
here's what I would say. I'll do the picking here, but you're gonna have to do the 7 through 9.
Are the Heat better than these teams?
I think the Heat's overall roster has the potential to be better than the Bucks, but the Bucks have the best player. I think that the Sixers, if everything broke right and Embiid was healthy, there's a lot of talent on that roster. Do I believe that will actually happen because they're the Sixers? No. Might I be terribly wrong and they're a 3 seed? Yes. I could see it honestly going, as one of our friends says, either way. I'm going to take the Pacers out of it. I just think that I'm going to put them in the next tier. I have great respect for Carlisle. I think Mathurin takes a jump as a scorer this year, but I do think they had a unique kind of chemistry, and Halliburton made the big shots for them, with the exception of a couple that Nembhard hit. He made the big shots. I think they are going to miss that. I'm going to put them in the next tier. I am going to lean Bucks simply because they have the best player. As long as he's there and motivated, I thought you were going to go Heat. I was thinking about it, so you can see what tier I'm putting them in. So is this
an official?
The dreaded play-in tier. I'm going with the Bucks. Official? Pistons, Hawks, Bucks in the second tier, even though that Bucks roster sucks. It's really bad, okay? But they have that guy. I mean, they have that guy. Like, he's going to have some 38-15 games that are just going to carry them.
He's like a sneaky MVP candidate this year.
I do too.
He's like third place every year, and now he's going to have the ball in his hands even more.
All the time. And Doc's not going to do anything creative. I think 39 might be enough for the 6th seed. I hate to say it. All right, we're going to introduce a new sponsor here, and then we're going to do the third tier. I think you can tell where we're going with some of that. If you've been feeling tight in your hips, stiff in your spine, or your body's out of alignment, listen up. The Align Training Method by Nanette is offering a free 30-minute virtual movement assessment, completely free. This isn't some generic workout plan. You get a personalized breakdown of your posture, hip function, and movement patterns so you can train smarter, avoid injury, and move better overall. It's great for anybody working through pain, coming back from injury. We know a lot of you guys are, just weekend basketball will do it, or just looking to reset their body mechanics. Head to thevaulttraining.online. That's thevaulttraining.online to book your session. This is where smarter movement begins. And if you want to sponsor the 5 Reasons Sports Network or 5 on the Floor, make sure you reach out to me by DM. All right, so again, that Bucks roster is trash, but they have Giannis. Let's do the third tier. This should be a little bit easier here. I have the Heat in the third tier. Squarely in the plan. Somewhere between 7 and 9. Could be better. Greg and I did an episode where I said they could win as many as 47 if all broke right. Obviously, could be worse. We know that they won't bottom out, so they're not going to fall below 9 or 10. They just won't do it. I'm going to have them. There is advantage to they have their pick, but again, they won't do it. So I'm going to put them in the third tier. I think they, with Bam and Tyler as their two best players, that's kind of where they are. If Powell, replicates the kind of season he had last year, we'll see how long Wiggins is there. If they get, I've said on the episode about best case scenario or worst case scenario, the thing that needs to happen is one of these four young guys needs to pop. Okay, Ware, Jovic, in particular, maybe Jaquez, Larson is a rotation player, but they if they're young players, if they get one or two of those to pop, I think they could get into the top six. But until I see it, I have them in the third tier. Heat in the third tier. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, for sure. And I was considering them along with the other teams we're going to put here for the second tier, just because I'm like, even with what I was saying about Milwaukee, that baseline, I don't know if it's going to be second tier. That's kind of where and again, I don't see it, I don't feel strongly about any one of these options either way, but I could see the Heat having a better season than the Bucks. I can see the Celtics having a better season than the Bucks, the Pacers.
I could too.
I wouldn't be surprised. I just think Giannis will probably get them to 500 and maybe slightly above 500. But I don't know if that's second tier. Can we amend or no? Is it too late for that?
No, too late for that. If it's before the break, we can't do it. Okay, we've got the Heat in the third tier.
It's official. But I'm good with the Heat there. I think Norman is gonna, the fact that they subtracted one rotation player who was really in the back end there with Kyle Anderson for Norm, what he brings scoring and shooting wise, it's gonna give them a certain it's gonna give them a few wins. I just think no doubt they could have used a guy like that not only for the scoring and shooting, but just in general, what he could have done for them in fourth quarters as well in clutch games. Just another guy who could relieve some pressure off of Hero and Bam. I think it's gonna add a few wins just off of that. You know what I mean? These factors alone might put them into the second tier if everything breaks right. But I think third is the safe tier here for the Heat.
All right, so let's pick another two teams here for this tier. Some we talked about for the second tier: the Pacers, the Celtics, the 76ers. Now, I'm just going to say here as we go forward here, I'm assuming we're not putting the Hornets, Wizards, Nets.
Yeah, you just gave away the last tier there.
I think we can do that. We'll talk about it, but I feel like we're going to align on that, and that's been kind of the consistent thing here for the past couple seasons. Okay. Can you make any case for the Bulls or Raptors in this tier? Raptors have talent.
I can see the Raptors having a path. There's just a weird roster, but they have a path to this for sure because they have if they just have a healthy season, which that's a sneaky thing about them last year. They were very unhealthy. If they have a sneaky season, they have a lot of guys who can do stuff. It's just a weird amalgamation of players, but they definitely have talent. Barnes,
Ingram for a full season.
Ingram. I mean, they re-signed Pirtle, who's a pretty good player. I just think they have, they have a certain level of talent there that might get them into that next tier. Again, depending on some of the agendas here of the other teams and their front offices, right? It's what are they trying to achieve with this season? Because again, I don't want to underestimate Boston with what they still have without Tatum and even the guys that they lost. They're not going to be what they were before, obviously. But I just think
we don't even know that Simons is. We don't even know that Anthony Simons is going to be there. It seems like they're trying to move him. I just feel like they're going.
Maybe.
They're going backwards. All right, so I'm going to force you to pick somebody here for the third tier.
Okay.
Pacers, Sixers, Celtics, and I'm not. I can't make an argument for the Bulls. Celtics,
Raptors.
Yes. I'm putting the Pacers here. I think Carlisle will motivate them. Their style is hard to play against. I think they get into the play-in one way or the other. I think Nembhard is a most improved player candidate simply because of the reps that he's going to get. Siakam's still a very good player, and I think Miles Turner was a little overrated for them.
Mathurin will get some usage too. I forgot to mention him.
No, I think Mathurin's going to be their second leading scorer. I think Mathurin he'll definitely be one of their three leading scorers, and you're going to see the pop from now. There's going to be some inconsistency, but I do think that they have him in waiting. And they also have some other good young players on their roster that really didn't get a chance. Trace Walker didn't really get a chance to play last year. I'm putting the Pacers in this tier. That leaves one spot, two of your favorites, Celtics, Sixers.
I'll go Boston.
Okay.
I just think the Sixers, I can't bet on them. Like, maybe Embiid's back healthy, maybe he isn't. I think that's too much of a swing factor. But again, like, it's just, I don't know what Boston is up to. If they do want to win games, like, they have a path to being like, again, like, I'm not talking about anything crazy here, but like they will still have Derek White. Peyton Pritchard is gonna have like a big year this year with all the Tatum,
I think they miss. They're gonna miss
Tatum.
They're gonna miss Porzingis for the games he played. Horford, we know, is not coming back.
That's where they're gonna be hurting a lot. I think
the bigs are, and Cornette didn't resign either, so they don't have their bigs are problematic. I'm gonna let you do this because I wanted you to pick this one. I think we're gonna end up saying we put the Sixers too low. I would have the Sixers ahead of the Celtics, but we're gonna stick with it. So here's what we've got. Knicks, I just think the Sixers talent level is way above what the Celtics have right now, other than I think Brown and White and Pritchard, I guess. But I think you go down that roster. But I don't even know Simons is going to be there. And then you're looking at Maxey. I know we're doing it based on what's there now, but they've been actively trying to move. If they have Embiid, Maxey, McCain, Edgecombe, Grimes, there's a lot of talent on the roster, but I know we don't trust the Sixers. I'm not gonna.
It's just I don't know. I don't really trust them. That's the thing.
I don't either, but I still think they're gonna be better than the Celtics. Okay, Knicks, Cavs, Magic, Tier 1, Pistons, Hawks, reluctantly Bucks. Basically, I don't even want to call them Bucks. Giannis. I'm crossing it out. Giannis.
I can't believe we put the Bucks in the second tier.
What's so funny is in the West, like Giannis would be just another of the really elite players, but in the East, there's so few elite players that it's just like you're right. It's like
the Bucks might not make the play-in in the West.
Oh, they wouldn't. Giannis would be demanding a trade. Yes. In the East, though, All right. Third tier, Heat, Pacers, Celtics. You and I don't agree on the Celtics, but I'll leave them there. Fourth tier, is there any argument for anything but Sixers, Bulls, Raptors in fourth tier? Can you make an argument for the Hornets, Wizards, or Nets sneaking past any of those teams? I have only one of those three that I think could be a shot, which is Charlotte, but I don't trust it.
No way. I can't bet on any of those teams, man. Maybe Washington, like if one of those young players like had a crazy leap, like it has to be something like that. I mean, the thing with, to your point about the Hornets though, like I just can't imagine it. But like a few years ago, like when I forgot what year it was, but like they were like closer to 500. Like it just feels so like long ago.
I don't think they win with LaMelo. I don't think they win with LaMelo. I think Brandon Miller are going to be a good player. There is some young talent there that I think they haven't made as many mistakes lately as they made in the past. There seems to be more of a plan. The Wizards have more of a plan. We're just not going to see it this year. Like their idea of taking on these contracts and now clearing out these contracts and picking up picks. Like I think if they make picks wisely, Trey Johnson's going to be a star. I think that Trey Johnson has a chance to be Rookie of the Year, actually. So I do think of those. I can't see the Nets though. I don't, with what they did with their 5 first-round picks. Like I don't really. And Michael Porter Jr. is going to accumulate a lot of points and a lot of losses when he's healthy, and then he'll be out with a back injury. The Hornets or Wizards, I could see maybe ahead of the Raptors if the bottom falls out with the Raptors. We know that the Bulls are going to be 10th or 11th because they always are, and then they'll re-sign Billy Donovan for 10 more years.
I feel pretty good about the bottom tier. I think the Bulls are the last team in the fourth tier. I think I just have a lot of questions about the end of the second tier through the fourth. That's where I'm like, we could have probably changed some things around.
Well, let's review it. Knicks, Cavs, Magic, first tier. Pistons, Hawks, Giannis, second tier. Heat, Pacers, Celtics, third tier. I would have had the Sixers higher, but we have Sixers, Bulls, Raptors, fourth tier. Bulls for the 55th consecutive season. Hornets, Wizards, Nets. This conference ain't great. It ain't great. Like that's what would be a tough question? The West. That would be a tough question. Maybe we'll do that another time. All right, Alex, appreciate it. Again, check out our new sponsor. Also, Prize Picks. Use the code FIVE. Plenty of new episodes up on the feed. We're going to keep going through August, so we'll see what else happens here. It doesn't look like a lot of transactions, but we'll keep the episodes coming. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the 5 on the Floor on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. After all, someone needs to listen to my dad.